What if making better decisions wasn't about getting more, but about choosing with more clarity? Well, today we're diving into this really powerful framework from the Quran that totally redefines what the best choice even means. It shifts the whole focus away from what you get on the outside to the quality of your choice on the inside. Let's jump in. I mean, we face this question all day, every day, don't we? Which job is best? What's the best thing to say in this tricky situation? Which path is the best one for me to take? It's this universal struggle, and a lot of the time, the answer feels like it's just right out of our reach. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Our culture, it usually tells us that best means the most impressive thing, the most luxurious, the cleverest comeback. It's all about what other people see. But the Quranic perspective, it flips that completely on its head. It asks different questions. Is this choice guiding? Is it pure? Is it truthful? It's a fundamental change in how we even measure what a good decision is. So, how do we actually build this new understanding? Well, this definition isn't just some vague, nice-sounding idea. It's actually a really solid framework built on 6 foundational pillars. Yup, 6 core concepts. And they all work together, kind of like puzzle pieces, to form a complete guide. Each one gives you a different lens to look at a choice, helping you see past the surface level to what's truly going to be good for you. The very first pillar is guidance. The best choice is the one that cuts through the fog. It's the one that gives you clarity and leads you away from confusion and regret. So it's not just about whether something is technically true, it's about whether that truth actually guides you toward a better place. Second, we have purity. A fantastic example from the source material is when the companions of the cave were looking for food. They weren't after the tastiest or the most expensive meal. No, they were looking for the purest food, what was wholesome, what was safe. This shows us that the best choice is so often the one that keeps our heart, our body, and our intentions clean. Pillar number 3 is de-escalation. When you're faced with some kind of negativity, the Quran says to repel evil with what is best. Now, this doesn't mean being a doormat, not at all. It means choosing the response that's least likely to be driven by your ego and most likely to just neutralize the harm, to put out the fire instead of pouring gasoline on it. And the 4th pillar follows right from that, truth and dignity. This is so important. It reminds us that the best words aren't always the sharpest ones or the ones that help you win an argument. The best kind of speech is both truthful and respectful. It manages to preserve everyone's dignity without backing down from what's right. Man, that's a tough balance to strike, but it's a powerful one. This leads us right into the 5th pillar, choosing from your higher self or taqwa. You see, every choice is kind of like a contest between 2 parts of us. There's our ego, which just wants to win, to look good. And then there's our conscience, our God awareness, that values things like humility and doing the right thing. Well, the best choice is the one that listens to that higher, more aware self. And finally, the 6th pillar is the hereafter. This one is all about perspective. It asks you to zoom out from the heat of the moment and think long-term, like really long-term. The best choice is measured by its eternal value, by its real moral weight and its lasting consequences. It's all about prioritizing what lasts over what's just temporary. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but isn't best kind of subjective? What's best for me might not be best for you? That is an excellent question, and this framework has a really nuanced answer. It combines universal, objective rules with your own personal application. Here's how it works. On one side, you have the objective core, principles like truth, purity, guidance. Those are universal. They don't change. Truth is always better than falsehood, period. But, and this is the key, how you apply those principles depends completely on you, on your situation, your capacity, your emotional state. So for one person, the best speech might be to calmly explain something. For someone else in the exact same spot, the best choice might actually be silence. So it all comes down to this really elegant formula. The best choice is a universal principle filtered through your current level of self-awareness, your taqwa, and applied to your specific unique situation. It's not a rigid command, but it's not pure relativism either. It's objective guidance applied with personal insight. Okay, so how do we actually use this in the real world? In the heat of the moment. This is where it gets super actionable. Let's look at what the source material calls a 7-second diagnosis. Think of it as a quick internal compass to find the best option right now. This is your mental checklist. Before you act, just run through these. Quick. 1. Guidance check. Is this bringing me clarity or more confusion? 2. Harm check. Which option does the least amount of damage to everyone involved? 3. Ego check. Is my ego driving this or is it my conscience? 4. Time check. Will the future me look back and approve of this? 5. Purity check. Which choice keeps my intention the cleanest? 6. Speech check. Are words actually going to help here, or is silence the better move? And finally, 7. Impact check. Does this choice move things even 1% in a better direction? Just running through these questions can completely change the game. I know, all those pillars and questions can seem like a lot to remember. But here's the beautiful part. They all get distilled down into one simple, memorable formula that can act as your internal compass. If you take away just one thing today, please let it be this. The best choice is the one that is cleanest in intention, least harmful in effect, and most guiding in direction. This single sentence, it captures the entire spirit of this framework. It's such a practical and powerful guide for pretty much any decision you're ever going to face. And that pretty much brings us to the end of this explainer. The framework is all laid out. The tools are right there in your hand. So really the only question left is the one you see on your screen. Based on this definition, what best choice will you make today?